Hey, so I'm here with my old friend Scott Grace. We've known each other for a long time. Met at an ASAP conference back in the early 2000s. And Scott is a very talented musician. I came up with an idea for a little ditty about tapping years ago, and Scott kindly put it to the guitar and recorded, and I'll put a link there. But Scott, so you reached out to me recently and shared a story about how we sometimes limit ourselves because we judge a book by its cover. So you want to share that?
I'd be happy to. So I was in New Jersey with my 7-year-old daughter, and we were on a buffet breakfast line at a hotel. And the man in front of me had a physique that like he went to the gym more than he went to the bathroom. I mean, this guy was so buffed and with the tattoos, and I felt like I needed to keep my distance and I wanted to protect my daughter, and so I just felt myself armor up. My defenses were up, and I didn't like that. I didn't like how reactive I was being, and I questioned it. I said, this guy, maybe he's the friendliest guy on earth. So let's start a little conversation. So I said to him, "Excuse me, uh, you look like you really are committed and disciplined to working out." And he said, "Oh, yeah, I spend 3 hours a day at the gym, or maybe more than that." And I said, "Wow, that's incredible. What brings you to this hotel?" And he said, "Well, I'm in town for a bodybuilding championship." Suddenly, he was no longer a threat. He was another human being connecting with me. And I found something I had in common with him. We both had discipline and passion for something. I just have a little different passion. So I just interviewed him the way I interview people when I'm curious. So what would you do if you win this contest? And he said, "Well, I'd go on to the nationals or the internationals or the celestials." And, he kept talking about like, what I just kept saying, "And then what? And then what?" And he just kept lighting up like a little boy. And we got to the end of the "and then what?" And it was the $100,000 prize for something. And I said, "So what would you do with the money?" And he said, "I would bring my relatives from Jamaica to America and help them begin a new life." And I thought of you, Brad, because um, I realized how prejudiced I was being, and how much maybe lots of us, like, who don't think I'm prejudiced, but who have this, human egoic when we feel a sense of threat. And I thought, let's let Brad take it away. So I'm so honored that you have an interest in this subject. I'd love to see where you go with it.
Yeah. Well, and it touched me is because I had, as I had told you, a very similar recent experience where on my morning walk down to Starbucks, I saw this biker sitting there, just like the gentleman you were talking about. It's like, it's right out of central casting from a prison movie, big muscles and tattoos. And we have all of this training of this person is a threat. Likewise, this guy, the black leather vest and the big motorcycle nearby, um and we have all this training for whatever to read a book by its cover and say this person is a threat. And just like you, I just thought, what the heck? And I just made some comment and struck up a conversation and talked to this guy for an hour. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
same kind of thing, a very rewarding conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And just find this is an awesome human being. And I almost missed out on this interaction because of my biases, my prejudice, my whatever, whether it's about the person's, their nationality or their dress or idiosyncrasies, whatever it is that we pick up, and it's a cue to us of this person is different, this person is threatening. And there are studies suggesting that this is something from our evolution in terms of, learning to pick up threats. This is different. This is not safe. And wanting to evolve past that because we're missing out. Whether we're writing people off because of, their religion, their nationality, the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, whatever it might be, we can say, oh, that kind of prejudice is wrong and we should feel ashamed of ourselves for it. But the bigger thing is, beyond being ashamed of it, is we're missing out.
Yeah.
Like you just say, you obviously got emotional as you had this wonderful interaction with this beautiful human being. And it's like, I almost missed out on that because of this thought of, this guy looks scary.
And the other thing was that my daughter was watching. And I'm always aware that my behavior speaks louder than words. And when I'm feeling threatened by somebody and I don't challenge that, she's watching. She's looking over my shoulder and going, "Oh, okay, threat." And what she saw in our interaction possibly could change her future. It's
Yeah.
just these little moments, not so little.
Well, and that's it, because that's how we've come to have these biases, these things, is we've learned them. And it's not just from someone sitting us down and saying, look out for people with tattoos or big muscles or black leather vests or whatever it might be. We see that, we perceive it. We're always learning as children, and we're still learning as adults. We still pick up things. And it's yeah, and I'm grateful that you reached out to me, because, like, yes, this is something that I enjoy, and I have done videos along these lines of us and them kind of things. But yeah, your particular story about that, and just really touched that place of how we're in danger of missing out. And then the other thing of, not only do we miss out, but also, what are we passing on to others? What are we teaching others? And we're all, we're validating that kind of behavior in others as well. And so we just miss out globally. We're really shortchanging ourselves. So yeah, let's do some tapping about that.
Mm.
So for everyone, everyone, go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to think about, where you might find yourself with some kind of prejudice, some kind of bias. It may be about different nationalities, different skin color, different politics. You know, that's a huge prejudice that a lot of us have these days. And, and some of these we may not be aware of. We may insist that we don't have. So, right now, just on your own, giving yourself permission to be aware of where that might be. It's in your own mind. You're sitting there at home or wherever you are watching this video. No one's going to be inside your mind finding out, oh, you have that prejudice. Just allowing yourself to be aware of where you could be honest with yourself about, yeah, you know what? I may not be as free from this as I think I am, or as I want to be. Just giving yourself permission to see that. No judgment, no shame, just being curious. Take a deep breath, open your eyes. Let's all tap together, shall we? Taking full responsibility for your own well-being. Even though I sometimes judge a book by its cover,
Even though I sometimes judge a book by its cover,
I choose to love and accept myself.
choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I maybe often judge a book by its cover,
Even though I might often judge a book by its cover,
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I sometimes judge a book by its cover,
Even though I sometimes judge a book by its cover,
and I don't even take time to see whether that's fair or not.
and I don't even take time to see if that's fair or not.
It's not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
It's not because I'm weak or lazy.
not because I'm weak or lazy.
It's because I've been taught to do this.
It's because I've been taught to do it.
And even though I've been taught to judge a book by its cover,
And even though I've been taught to judge a book by its cover,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself,
love, honor, and accept myself
and maybe anyone else who's contributed to this.
and anyone else who contributed.
All this tendency to judge a book by its cover,
All this tendency to judge a book by its cover,
all this belief that I need to judge a book by its cover,
all this belief that I need to judge a book by its cover,
because that's the reason I do it.
because that's the reason I do it.
Part of me believes I need to,
Part of me believes I need to,
because I'm programmed to save myself,
because I'm programmed to save myself,
to protect myself.
to protect myself.
I'd rather avoid threat
I'd rather avoid threat
than prove that I'm a nice person.
than prove that I'm a nice person,
Because part of me might believe
because part of me might believe
a really good person is more open-minded than that.
a really good person is more open-minded than that.
But part of me says,
And part of me says,
no good being good if I'm hurt.
there's no good being good if I'm hurt.
So I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me.
So I choose to love and appreciate all those parts
That jump to judgment
that jump to judgment
in an effort to protect myself.
in an effort to protect myself.
I don't need to shame myself for prejudices.
I don't need to shame myself for prejudices.
It's just what I've learned.
It's just what I've learned.
And when I shame myself
And when I shame myself
or judge myself,
or judge myself,
then I'm not really open to change.
then I'm not really open to change.
If I just try to force myself past that,
If I just try to force myself past that,
I just create more stress.
I create more stress.
I don't want to jump to judgment of others,
I don't want to jump to judgment of others,
but I don't want to judge myself either.
but I don't want to judge myself either.
I choose to love myself in this process
I choose to love myself in this process
as I allow myself to evolve.
as I allow myself to evolve.
And I'm clearing this fear
And I'm clearing this fear
that that'll put me into a lot more danger.
that that'll put me into a lot more danger.
If I don't judge books by their covers,
If I don't judge books by their covers,
I'll be in more danger.
I will be in more danger.
I love and appreciate that part of me
And I love and appreciate that part of me
that is trying to protect me.
that is trying to protect me.
I choose to be open to the possibility
I choose to be open to the possibility
that I can be more open-minded
that I can be more open-minded
and still have common sense.
and still have common sense.
I can still read signs
I could still read signs
and be able to see when I might be in danger.
and be able to see when I really might be in danger.
I choose to trust myself more.
I choose to trust myself.
And that opens me up to all kinds of wonderful possibilities
And it opens me up to all kinds of wonderful possibilities.
because there may be all kinds of different people
Because there may be all kinds of different people
that I've avoided.
that I have avoided,
And I may have fought to defend my beliefs
and I may have fought to defend my beliefs
about why I should judge these people,
about why I should judge them,
about why this prejudice is right.
about why this prejudice is right.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
I've been missing out on some things.
I've been missing out on some things.
I've been missing out on some beautiful connections.
I've been missing out on some beautiful connections.
I'm tired of missing out.
And I'm tired of missing out.
I'm connected to everybody.
I'm connected to everybody.
I choose to explore those connections.
I choose to explore those
I
connections.
choose to enjoy those connections.
I choose to enjoy those connections.
And I forgive the people
I forgive the people
who taught me to be so afraid.
who taught me to be so afraid.
Most of us are taught as children
Most of us are taught as children
to not talk to strangers.
to not talk to strangers.
And we've gotten all kinds of different programming
And we have gotten all kinds of different programming
about who a stranger is,
about who a stranger is,
about about why certain people look strange to us.
about why certain people look strange to us.
I may look at some people
I may look at some people
and say it doesn't get any stranger than that,
and say it doesn't get any stranger than that,
and I should not talk to strangers.
and I should not talk to strangers.
And the fact is,
And the fact is,
I must look pretty strange to some people.
I must look pretty strange to some people.
And it would be a shame if they missed out on my awesomeness,
And it would be a shame if they missed out on my awesomeness,
if they judged my book by my cover.
if they judged my book by my cover.
So I'm allowing myself to process these fears.
So I'm allowing myself to process these fears.
And all this need to defend my past biases.
And all this need to defend my past biases.
Part of me says,
Part of me says,
I was taught to stereotype.
I was taught to stereotype.
I should stereotype.
I should stereotype.
It's necessary for my survival.
It's necessary for my survival.
And maybe I've been doing it for so long.
And maybe I've been doing it for so long.
I'm more committed to defending the past
I'm more committed to defending the past
than exploring what's possible.
than exploring what's possible.
And I'm processing that.
Processing that.
I'm open to the possibility
I'm opening to the possibility
that I could be more open.
that I can be more open.
More open to beautiful people.
More open to beautiful people.
More open to interactions
More open to interactions
that I've missed out on in the past.
that I have missed out on in the past.
I'm giving myself more possibilities
Giving myself more possibilities
as an act of love for myself
as an act of love for myself
and an act of love for others.
and an act of love for others.
Choose to love others more actively.
I choose to love others more actively,
I'm reaching out to others,
reaching out to others,
expanding my horizons,
expanding my horizons,
allowing myself to be more open to wonderful experiences
allowing myself to be more open to wonderful experiences
in body, mind, and spirit.
and spirit.
Hopefully that creates some more opening to to explore different things, different people, and seeing beyond that exterior that we might have been led to believe, through what we've been taught, and maybe through past experiences. But even with past experiences, recognizing, okay, I may have made a snap judgment because somebody was threatening to me. I made a Pavlovian association to how they looked. That okay, everyone who looks like that is going to be a threat to me, like that particular person was, and allowing ourselves to evolve past that, so that we get to have more cool interactions. So, thanks for inspiring that video, and thanks for joining me for this, Scott. And thank you for everyone who is willing to move past programming to make the world a better place.